The Ugly Duckling. On a quiet farm pond, Astrid the mother duck sat on her nest of eggs, waiting for spring. One by one, the eggs began to crack until the largest egg finally opened. Out came Elian, a duckling unlike any of the others. He was bigger, gray, and awkward, where his siblings were small and golden. Astrid looked at her new son with a puzzled expression. "He's so big," whispered one duckling. "And such a strange color," said another. Even the other farm animals stopped to stare. Elian tucked his head low and said nothing, feeling the sting of their sharp words. Every day was the same. The other ducklings wouldn't play with him, and the hens pecked when he came near. Even his mother, Astrid, tired of the teasing, began to keep her distance. Elian felt entirely alone as he sat by the water's edge. One morning, Elian could not bear it any longer. Before the sun was fully up, he slipped away from the farm and out into the wide world. He did not know where he was going, only that he could not stay where he wasn't wanted. He wandered through marshes where wild geese flew overhead and through reeds that scratched his feathers. A hunter's dog named Rolf found him and sniffed at his gray down, but the dog eventually turned and walked on, deciding the duckling wasn't worth the trouble. Autumn came, then a hard winter. The pond where Elian sought shelter froze solid around him. A kind old farmer named Arvid found him nearly frozen in the ice. Arvid knelt down, wrapped the duckling in his heavy wool coat, and carried him home to warm by the fire. But the farmhouse was loud and unfamiliar. In his fright, Elian fluttered his wings, knocking over a milk pail and sending flowers scattering through the air in a white cloud. Frightened by the chaos he had caused, he fled back out into the biting cold. Through the whole hard winter, Elian survived alone. He hid deep in the snow-covered reeds, foraging for whatever bits of food he could find. He watched the seasons change from a distance, having learned it was safer to stay hidden. When spring finally returned, warmth crept back into the air. Elian, now fully grown and much larger, found himself drawn to a wide, sunlit lake. There, gliding gracefully across the water, were the most beautiful birds he had ever seen. Elian lowered his head, certain the beautiful birds would drive him away, as everyone always had. "Go ahead," he said quietly. "I am used to it." But instead, one of the swans swam closer, calling out to him with a welcoming sound. Confused by their kindness, Elian looked down into the still water of the lake. He saw a reflection, but it was not the gray, awkward duckling he had always believed himself to be. He saw a swan, graceful, white, and radiant in the morning light. Elian had never truly been an ugly duckling at all. He simply hadn't been in the right place yet. On that sun-drenched lake, surrounded by his own kind at last, he spread his great white wings and felt, for the first time, that he truly belonged.